Hey guys, today we're talking about rehabilitating your shoulders at home using basic weights such as dumbbells or little plates. Now these exercises should be fine for anyone with a chronic inflammation such as tendonitis, supraspinatus tendonitis or bursitis, problems that have been diagnosed and given the all clear to exercise and to strengthen. Now, if you've seen some of my previous videos, you may have heard me talk about the 3 phases of rehabilitation. So phase 1 is when you're in that acute pain. So it's only just happened. You need to get that pain level down. So that's the phase where you should not be training. That's the phase where you need to be just doing gentle movements, getting some treatment and letting that inflammation calm down. Then phase 2 is when you need to start getting that flexibility back. So that includes stretching and just general all over movements. Then we move into the phase 3 where your pain levels have gone down to maybe a 3 or 4 out of 10. So that's the phase when we can start doing this. Now, hopefully you've been given the all clear by your practitioner or by your doctor and you are able to exercise. In some of my previous videos, I talked about building stability in your shoulder. So that's one of the things we're going to focus on today, is building stability and also building strength. So in today's video, I'm going to focus on 2 exercises for stability. First is a bicep curl and second is a tricep kickback. Now I get that they are not shoulder related exercises, but if you do them properly, that will help to build stability in your shoulders. Then we're going to move on to a few other exercises. One is a lateral raise. The second is a front raise. The third is a single arm row. And then we'll also touch on external rotation as well. For these exercises, I'm going to assume that you have either a dumbbell or you've got some small weight plates. Now what I've got here is a 3 kilogram dumbbell. So this is about 6 or 7 pounds. And I've also got a plate which is 2.5 kilos, which is 5.5 pounds. Now, of course, if you don't have any dumbbells or you don't have any little plates, you can improvise. So I've got a water bottle here. You can use water bottles, you can use cans of vegetables, you can use a bag or a backpack with stuff in it to make it heavier. It doesn't matter what you use as long as you use something that's appropriate for you and what you can do. So we're going to go through the bicep curl first. First, I'll show you how to do it with the dumbbell. So what I need you to do is get your elbow into your hip. Then that doesn't move. So lock your elbow into your hip, curl the dumbbell up, pause at the top, and then slowly lower it back down. When you get to the bottom, just a small pause, curl it back up, pause, and repeat. Now, if you start to swing your elbows forwards and backwards, that means you've lost stability. So by keeping your elbow in place, you're engaging your shoulder muscles. So it's creating that stability in the shoulder. So it's building that internal strength. When you pause at the top, that shows you that you're in control. So that means when you get to the top, you're not dropping it straight down. You pause and slowly lower it down. I would recommend 10 reps. Start with 1 set and then over time build that up to 2 and then 3 sets. Now, if you're doing the bicep curl with a small plate, there's 2 ways that you can hold it. One is holding it by the end. So the technique is exactly the same, or you can hold it with your fingers through the hole. It really depends on what you find the most comfortable, but the technique is exactly the same. And of course, if you wanted, you could hold it this way, but that's a slightly different muscle, but it'll still do much the same thing. Now, the next exercise I'm going to do is a tricep kickback. Now, while this is not the best exercise for building your triceps, it's actually a really good exercise for developing that stability in your shoulder. So what you're going to do is find a chair or a coffee table or something that you can just lean on with one leg down and one knee up. So grab your weight and pull your elbow back into your side. From here, push your hand back, pause, and slowly back in. Now what you'll notice at this point here is that my hand and my elbow are not that high. and that's intentional. This is an easy setup first of all, so we're not putting too much stress through the shoulder or through the tricep. If you do find that easier, then what you can do, and the proper way to do it, is to bring your elbow higher and push your hand back further. And of course, you can do this with a plate or can of beans, bottle of water, whatever you have accessible to you. So again, same thing, elbow back in position and push the hand back. One thing you have to make sure you do or don't do is drop your shoulder and drop your elbow. So you're doing this kind of thing here. So I would recommend 10 reps and then rest. If this is the first time you've done it, just stick to the one set. Over time, as you get better at this, you can add in a second set and then eventually a third set as well. So you're building it up to 3 sets of 10. So now we're going to start strengthening the shoulder. The first exercise I'm going to show you is a lateral raise. Now, if you have a shoulder problem such as a supraspinatus tendonitis, a bursitis, impingement, the assumption is that you can go from about here to here with relatively little pain. Once you get to about this 30-degree range and above, you will probably start to feel pain. Now, a traditional lateral raise would be all the way up to here, but we're not going to go into that. So what we're going to do is strengthen the pain-free range, and I don't want you going anywhere into pain. So your pain-free range is from about here to about here. Now, in this position I'm in now, it's relatively easy because the weight is pulling down and I only start to feel resistance when it's all the way out here. So to make that more effective, what we need is the resistance going more across the body. And the only way to get that is to be more horizontal. So I'm going to show you that now. All right, so to strengthen this range of your lateral raise, I've positioned a bench just at a slight incline. Now, obviously you might not have a bench at home, but what you probably will have is a bed. So you just prop yourself up, so a few pillows, and you're going to get yourself into a kind of a gentle incline. So what I've done here is I've put myself at an incline where my shoulder is a little bit higher than my hand. So arm straight, so weight in your hand, and just lift only a small amount, pause, and then down with control. Lift, pause, and down with control. Now, when you get to the bottom, what I want you to do is not go all the way down and switch off those muscles. So there's always going to be tension going through that shoulder. So engage your shoulder muscles just by lifting the weight slightly off of your leg and then raise only a small amount, pause, and then back down. Pause there, so there's a little bit of a gap, up and down. So it's a very small movement, but you should be in a pain-free range. Now, of course, as you start to work those muscles, you might feel a slight burning, which is fine. That's just the muscle working. But of course, if you do feel pain, then just stop. So you're going to be doing 10 reps of these and start with just one set. Over time, you can build in a second set and then a third set as well. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to start working a front raise. So we're going to start strengthening the front of your shoulder. To do that, you're just going to take your arm straight out in front of you forwards. It's a bit like the lateral raise, only going that way. Now, for those of you with impingements, bursitis, supraspinatus tendonitis, that is the range that causes you problems, and a front raise should be okay. If you've got something like a biceps tendonitis, this might not be a comfortable exercise for you to do. So of course, as with the other exercises, if it causes you pain, don't do it. So I've set my bench to about 45 degree. You can use a chair, you can just scoot further forward and lean back into the chair, or you can lean up against a wall. It doesn't matter as long as you can get yourself into this kind of position. So what I'm going to do is position the dumbbell on my thigh, and then from here my arm is straight and I just lift it up to about horizontal. So my arm is about horizontal in line with my shoulder, and then down. When I see the dumbbell about to touch my thigh, that's when you stop. So there's always a little bit of a gap just there, so it keeps that tension going through your shoulder. So you're here, lift, pause, and then down with control. Just before you touch, up, down, pause at the bottom, and up. If you let this weight come down and you switch those shoulder muscles off, you're losing tension. So you want to keep that tension all the time throughout that exercise. So you're going to do 10 reps and 1 set to begin with. Over time, as you get more familiar with this, then you can add in a 2nd set and a 3rd set. So lean back 45 degrees, arms straight, up, pause, and down, and just 10 of these. If you want to make it just a little bit harder, you can increase that angle a little bit more and just do to here. But again, you don't want to be coming up too high. So just go into that pain-free range of motion. So far now, we've done the outer part of your shoulder, we've done the front part of your shoulder, and we now need to work into the back. So although this isn't directly targeting the back of the shoulder, it will work it slightly, but it's more of a latissimus dorsi exercise. So this big muscle that comes down here. And again, it's great for stability. A strong latissimus dorsi, a strong lat muscle will still help you with your shoulder position, with shoulder stability as well. So what you're going to do now is similar to the tricep kickback that we did earlier. You're going to set yourself up so you've got a bench or a coffee table or a chair, doesn't matter. So get yourself one knee, one hand on a chair or a coffee table, bench, whatever it is, arm down by your side, and just pull your shoulder back. So pull your shoulder blade back. And then from here, you're going to pull your elbow up, just past your hips, just past your waist even, and then slowly back down. Keep your shoulder back just for now, and then keep it coming back up, pause, and down. Now, a little tip for you on this exercise, forget what's in your hand, because as soon as you start thinking about pulling an object towards you, you're engaging your bicep muscle more. But we want to work the back muscles. So what I want you to think about is imagine there's a piece of string attached to your elbow. So someone is attached to the other end and pulling your elbow up. So this, whatever's in your hand, is relaxed. So your forearm, your hand, your wrist is relaxed. And just focus on pulling your elbow back. And when you start focusing on your elbow, you will start to feel it a little bit more in your back muscles. So if you have a slightly heavier weight, you could probably lift a bit heavier on this. If you don't, it doesn't matter. Keep it slow, keep it steady. Don't forget to pause at the top and slowly lower that weight. So keep that control. Keep trying to feel those muscles working. You're not trying to build muscle mass or anything like that. You're just trying to create more stability and more strength. So start with 10 reps, 1 set, and of course, over the coming weeks, add in a 2nd set and a 3rd set as well. So now that we've done the back, we can start working the external rotator. So we can work that rotator cuff. Now, rotator cuff exercises are not generally my favorite exercises. I don't think they're that effective. But since we're at home, since we need to rehab the shoulder anyway, we can do it from home. So what you're going to do is set yourself up so that you are lying down horizontal. So for the rotator cuff, or for the external rotation, so we're going this way, outwards, your hand can start in front of your body and it can come all the way out. So it'll come from start to finish. Now, if we're doing this on our side, this first half of the range is not going to get much work. So if I'm on my side and I'm here, that doesn't really do that much. It's only when I start to get out to the most outer external rotation that I start to feel it. So what we're going to do is we're going to break it down into 2 halves. We're going to strengthen this outer range first, and then we're going to strengthen this inner range second. So to do that, you can start on your side so that your shoulder is above, so your shoulder is high and you're on your other shoulder. From here, take your hand out as far as it will go, pause, and slowly back in. Pause at the bottom, and all the way out, pause, and slowly back in. Once you've done 10 of them, have a rest. From there, you can then turn more onto your back. Not completely on your back, but just slightly. Elbow into your side again and lift your hand up from here. So it's only a small movement and back down. Up, pause, and down. Now you'll notice that I'm only going to about here and not all the way out to here. So you're going to strengthen this range here. So you're on your side first. Then you're going to turn more onto your back and strengthen this range here. So aim for 3 sets of 10 in total eventually. You don't have to do the full 10 of one range and a full 10 of the other. You could do 5 of that outer part first and then 5 of that initial phase second. So that would be 10 reps in total. You can make that one set and you can build a second set and then the third set from there. All right guys, so far today I've shown you 2 exercises for stability of your shoulder. We've got the bicep curl and we've got the tricep kickback. While they're not directly working your shoulder muscles, if you're keeping your elbow in place, they are developing stability. So they're really good exercises for you to start with, especially if you're on your initial phase of your rehab plan. From there, we went into doing a lateral raise, then a front raise, single arm row, and lastly, external rotation. I would suggest just start with 1 set of 10 of each exercise first. Then over the coming weeks, you can add in a second set and then a third set. Now, in terms of frequency, I would suggest do it every other day. So you're doing 3 to 4 of these workouts a week, but definitely do not do it every day. Because if you're doing it every day, you're not allowing your muscles to recover. So you need a day off in between each workout so your shoulder muscles can get stronger. And of course, if you are feeling any pain, if you're feeling any discomfort doing any of these exercises, then just don't do them. You can expect this phase, this rehab phase, this strengthening phase, to take around 3 to 4 months to start seeing some results. So be patient with it, guys, and be consistent. If you have any questions, do stick them in the comment section below. I do read every single one of your questions, and of course I do appreciate every comment that you make. So I hope this video has helped you. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of this kind of content, then hit that subscribe button. If you know anyone with a shoulder problem, or you know anyone who's trying to rehab their shoulder at home, share it with them too. Let them see what they need to do at home to get their shoulders better. But anyway, guys, stay safe and good luck with your shoulder rehab, and I will see you in the next video. So take care and goodbye from me.